The 10-Day Bridge. In the lush, humid suburbs of New Taipei City, Siavash stood on his balcony, watching the mist cling to the Emerald Mountains. At 45, his hair was peppered with silver, a map of the years spent between the roar of Iranian dams and the quiet rhythm of teaching English. He looked at his phone. The date on the screen marked his birthday. He knew, with a gentle, practiced certainty, that his oldest friend would not call today. Siavash didn't mind. In their friendship, he was the keeper of dates, and Saeed was the keeper of the present moment. Siavash's mind drifted back to Tehran, to the sun-drenched tarmac of the airfield where their fathers worked. Mr. Yusuf and Qassem Aga were giants in blue jumpsuits, smelling of jet fuel and peppermint tea. They moved through the logistics of aircraft parts with a synchronized grace, their laughter echoing against the metal hangars. It was a world of steel and sky, where two young boys played among the shadows of giant wings, imagining they could fly anywhere in the world. The best days were the escapes to the village. The dusty heat of the city would give way to the cool breath of the Alborz Mountains. Siavash and Saeed would race toward the creek, their laughter ringing out over the sound of rushing water. While their fathers prepared the charcoal for kebabs, the boys would sit on a patterned rug under a mulberry tree, sharing secret dreams of the future. Siavash was always 10 days older, a fact he used to claim seniority during their imaginary adventures. Life eventually pulled them into different orbits. After their military service, they stood at the airport, the very place their fathers had kept running, and said their goodbyes. Saeed flew toward the tropical humidity of the Philippines to master the art of dentistry. Siavash headed for the bustling streets of Malaysia to immerse himself in the English language. They were young men then, carrying the hopes of two fathers who had spent their lives ensuring others could take flight. Decades later, Saeed's life was firmly rooted in the heart of Tehran. He had become a respected dentist, his hands moving with the same precision his father once used on engines. His clinic was a place of warmth, often visited by his wife, Bahar, and their 5-year-old son, Dayan. Saeed would often look at Dayan and see glimpses of the airfield, a legacy of hard work and kindness that Bahar nurtured in their home every day. In Taiwan, Siavash had built a different kind of sanctuary. He had traded the concrete of dam engineering for the whiteboard of a classroom, finding joy in the curious eyes of his students. At home, his wife Elaine brought the flavors of her heritage to their table, while their 7-year-old daughter Rima bridged their two worlds with her bilingual chatter. Siavash often watched Rima draw and wondered if she could sense the invisible threads connecting her to a city half a world away. The pandemic had been a cruel season, taking both Mr. Yusuf and Qassem Aga within weeks of each other. The logistics of grief were far more complicated than aircraft parts. Siavash and Saeed had mourned over pixelated video calls, the distance between Taiwan and Iran feeling like an ocean of silence. On the days when the sadness felt too heavy, Rima would sit quietly by Siavash, sensing the weight of the memories he carried for both himself and the father he could no longer call. Siavash's 45th birthday passed quietly in New Taipei. Elaine baked a small cake, and they sang in a mix of languages. Siavash checked his phone one last time before bed. No message from Tehran. He smiled, imagining Saeed busy in his clinic or chasing Dayan around the yard. Saeed's mind lived in the vibrant now, forgetting the calendar but never the bond. Siavash cherished this. It meant their friendship wasn't a chore of dates, but a constant, living presence. 10 days later, the air in Tehran was beginning to crisp with the approach of evening. Saeed was in his garden, helping Dayan launch a toy airplane into the breeze. The boy's eyes lit up as the plastic wings caught the wind, a sight that always made Saeed's heart ache with a beautiful nostalgia. He felt a vibration in his pocket. It was a video call coming through from Taiwan. He wiped his hands on his trousers and answered with a wide, weary, happy grin. Siavash's face appeared on the screen, framed by the green mountains of his new home. Behind him, Rima waved enthusiastically. Across the thousands of miles, The ghosts of the airfield and the memories of the village stream seemed to converge in the digital glow. Siavash saw his friend, saw the legacy of Qasim Aga in Saeed's eyes, and felt the 10-day gap of their ages close entirely. "Happy birthday, Saeed," Siavash said, his voice thick with the warmth of 45 years of brotherhood. "Happy birthday, my brother."